I would say the biggest thing is just I want to be the best at YouTube. Like that's really it. For whatever reason, when I made my first video, from then on out, I was obsessed, and I just can't stop. I can't. I take a day off, and I feel like I'm a waste of space. You know what I mean? So I naturally got into the business side just so I could scale up my channel and go bigger, because I just constantly wanted to do bigger videos. But it was because I hit a point where the videos were getting bigger, but the uploads were going down. And I was like, if I kept continuing, I was going to upload once a year. So I was like, I had to do something. And that's where I just started hiring people. I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know any legal stuff. I just went to all my friends. I was like, you want a job? And then every month after that, I brought on a new employee, and I did that for 2 years.
In this episode, we talk with one of the smartest, most disruptive YouTubers on the platform, Jimmy Donaldson, better known as Mr. Beast. He has exploded this last year on YouTube to 28 million subscribers and billions of video views. Mr. Beast is known for his philanthropic, attention-grabbing videos, and he has given hundreds of thousands of items to homeless shelters, giving away cars to the needy, purchasing everything at a grocery store to donate to a local food bank, and so much more.
This is Creative Disruption, the intersection where entertainment, data, and creativity meet. Here's your hosts, Ricky Ray Butler and Daryl Leaves.
Welcome back to the Creative Disruption podcast, where we're talking about anything that's disrupting the industry and people that's actually making the disruption. And I'm joined here by my friend, Ricky Ray Butler. How you doing, Ricky?
I am doing fantastic.
Fantastic?
Yep.
Wow.
It's our day off.
It's a day off,
I'm
so
a little
we're
more
doing
casual
podcasts.
than usually. Yep.
Oh, yeah. If you guys don't know, we actually do a lot of recording in batch because Ricky's busy and I'm not so busy. And that's the way it works, right?
Yeah, this is the thing. I obviously work way harder than you do.
Oh, jeez. Here we go again. Here we go again.
No, really, though. In all honesty, like, it's amazing that you're making time to do a podcast today, being that Vid Summit starts like tomorrow.
In hours, right?
In hours,
yeah. No, I love it. Well, let me tell you what's in the news. Like, I was going through the news, and there's certain things as a parent that I look for is how other parents react. And there was like joy happening in the world just this last, day. Do you know what? Do you know why that joy?
I have no clue.
Because Fortnite got deleted. It was like literally a black hole of death that was happening. No, seriously, like all the parents were like super excited. Like, oh my gosh, they're coming out of their rooms. It's amazing. We could actually have a conversation.
Oh, I thought they just switched over to Minecraft.
No, they could have done that too, but it was like crazy because they were like, they'd be looking at the screen. They're like, no, they're just waiting for it. And, it delayed even further and further. And it's pretty funny because like, I'm friends with one of the developers of, Epic Games with Fortnite. And he's like in Europe right now, just on vacation with his wife and all that other stuff. And I see that going on. I'm like, okay.
Oh, wow.
No, this is good.
Did you connect with him?
Oh, no. I mean, it's not down. I mean, they're just getting ready to do chapter 2 of Fortnite. This is something strategically.
So this is something that happened from Epic Games.
100%.
They made it so no one could play.
Yeah. So 100%. So Epic Games has done stuff literally that is leading the industry in so many ways. It's disrupting the industry in so many different ways. And one of the ways is they do these Facebook, or not Facebook. I can't even believe I said things like this, but it was like Fortnite events. So they'd have a marshmallow concert or whatever. And literally people gather together, play and experience those events. So this is one of those events, and it's just getting ready to turn the tide to.
So the event was just to stop all Fortnite.
Yeah. Did not stop in Fortnite. They got sucked into the black hole, and now it's putting out code and, just kind of getting people a little bit more curious of what's happening for the next chapter of Fortnite.
Okay.
So
awesome.
But that leads us to a good segue for our guest, which I'm really, really excited about. I think going back to through all our podcasts, we actually talked about this guest more than we did any other creator.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is.
You geek out about him a lot.
Wow. I kind of like him a little bit. But, on this, just kind of giving it something. When I was first looking at his channel, he actually says, subscribe to my YouTube channel or I'll delete your Fortnite account. And he actually did it. That's what it was.
Well, no, I think there's a lot of people, there's been a trend of a lot of people copying those threats if you don't subscribe.
I think Phil DeFranco is like, I'll punch you in the throat.
Yeah, there's a variety.
Why is there violence going on here? But do you want to introduce our guest?
Yes. So today, we're very lucky. The person that we've quoted more than any other creator, we have Jimmy, or AKA Mr. Beast, joining us.
Thank you for having me on.
Hey, thank you for making time to come.
And I'm glad you opened me by showcasing the violence I've brought to the yeah, thank you. I'm glad that's what I'm known for, is that. Yeah. So how are you guys doing?
Doing really good.
Doing
really
great.
Good. Yeah. So I'm going to just jump right in.
Yes, let's do this.
I'm ready.
I'm ready to go for it.
Yeah.
Okay, so this podcast is all about disruption and what you're doing in the YouTube space.
I feel so weird when people
I know, but
I hate it.
like you are disrupting it, and you're going through that. But give everyone. Maybe there's some people on here that don't know who you are.
Yeah.
I think they should just talk to their son or their teenage
Sure.
daughter or whatever. But just kind of give us some
rundown on the channel.
Yeah.
So I have 24 million subscribers. I feel weird looking at you guys when I say this, but 24 million subscribers, a few billion views. I've done things like giving away money, gave a homeless guy 10 grand, bought a homeless person a house. I buy my friends cars a lot. I give away money. And then on top of that, I torture my friends. Like last to leave a circle wins 10 grand, or
I don't know if you can call that torture.
I know.
They're getting money out of it. I mean, come on.
I want to be in those videos.
Yeah, we did last to leave Tesla, kept it, and it went on for 3 days till someone finally won it. So that, and then the third one's me torturing myself. I counted to 100,000. Watched a Jake Paul music video for 10 hours and just things like that. So
you actually read the dictionary.
Well, yes, I didn't read the definitions, but I read every word except for one, or 2 words. I bet you can guess which ones I skipped. Because when I say I read it, people are like, "Oh, did you read this one?" I'm like, no,
There's a couple of words that you definitely had
it's like it's top comment. It's like that word, and everyone's like, "Oh, why'd he skip it?" I'm like,
I don't want to be demonetized.
The best thing is like they pull out their dictionary. They're actually following with him. Did you do it? Yep.
yeah. So
That's amazing.
I mean,
watch
that's
time.
a brief synopsis. Just really out there crazy things. Yeah.
Now you've been doing YouTube for a while, and not a lot of people realize this because your growth happened in the last couple of years. Want to give us kind of a background of how much time it took for you to get to where you are today?
Yes, sure. I feel like most people don't care, but I'm down to talk about it. I started when I was 13, and I literally had no money at the time, which is kind of ironic because this year I spent millions of dollars on content. But I made Minecraft videos, and I used to make $1 a day, literally. And I'd saved up for months. I bought a mic, saved up for more months, bought a computer, and just literally everything came from YouTube. So, and just as it went on, I from the day one, when I created my channel, every dollar I made, I put back into my channel for 8 years straight. And that's basically what I did. And as the paychecks got bigger, the videos got bigger, really.
That's amazing. And talking to Daryl always says that you look at creating a video like playing a video game.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
how do you get people? I mean, how do you get yourself into that state of mind to really have that much fun in doing something so difficult?
Yes, that's where I feel a little weird, because what feels fun to me, to other people frustrates them. Like coming up with ideas, that's something I've always enjoyed. But other people, it terrifies them because they never know what does well. But I mean, I don't know. I'm just wired differently. The things I enjoy, most people are frustrated by. I like creating content. I like data, and I like running a business, which are kind of the 3 things you need to really scale up big. And most people I see usually only like one of the 3. So I feel like it's very rare that someone does all 3, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. I feel like this is something that's a trend, a newer trend when it comes to entertainment. Most people that are being they're getting really successful today are very data driven. They're always looking at the numbers, and they're geeking out about the numbers, learning from them, optimizing what they're doing, and then they're much more effective and successful in predicting success. And predicting, positive outcomes.
Well, aren't you the one that uses the analogy of generations of YouTubers, or is that a different?
That was me. Yeah.
Oh,
no,
yeah,
I'm pretty sure that was me. I think I'm remembering.
Okay,
but yeah, there's
I just wanted to say that was a
superstitious
horrible
creators,
analogy.
and then much more data driven ones. Yeah, that was the analogy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So the new YouTubers.
Exactly. Definitely, we're just learning from the previous one, but also the previous YouTubers didn't have the data we did, because CTR is still pretty new. Which, I think a lot of people forget.
No, what's interesting, the way I look at it, is the content creators that are actually, being introduced right now. Mm-hmm. They actually they've been on YouTube their whole life, basically.
Yes.
And once they're consuming concepts, so they're able to see, hey, what works, what doesn't work, how they engage communities, so on and so forth. And then just these last couple of years, where YouTube's really opened up some amazing tools that creators can go, oh my gosh, when I say this or I do this, this is the correlation because of that.
Yeah.
That's when it changes. And I would agree. Yeah, there's a lot more content creators that care about data, then there's others that don't really care for data, but they do it from instinct.
Yeah.
And
because I always thought click-through rate was a thing. For the longest time, I was like, there's something besides average view duration. This video that people watched for 70% did worse than this video that people watched for 50%. And I had always hypothesized it was click-through rate, but it wasn't until they released the stat that I got that missing metric to plug in. I was like, okay, this is why this video did bad, and this is why this one did well. So that's when people talk about like why it's changing. I think
like click-through rate with thumbnails.
Yeah, like that's
Thumbnails,
really
titles.
recent. It's only like a year and a half ago that they started showing it.
yeah, it's always been a thing. I mean, with advertisers, like in Google Ads, I mean, they're showing the impressions and how many people you're clicking through. So, like for me, that was just a normal thing. And
Gotcha.
we'd actually test. We'd actually go and spend money
Yeah,
just
you
to
told me. Yeah.
see exactly what was going on. But YouTube never gave us this data. But now they're giving creators tools that can help them create better content, i.e., help them stay on the platform longer. And so I think it's amazing. So let me ask you, because I think a lot of people don't know, Jimmy, like how big is your team? Like most people think, oh, YouTube, you make YouTubes. Are you still in your mom's basement?
Yeah.
Is that the way it
Hit
is?
me with that one. Well, I probably won't say the exact number, but I'd have dozens of employees at this point. A lot of them are full-time and a lot of part-time, which as you guys know, but to you guys listening, yes, I have director, a logistical expert. I mean, like we do large-scale projects twice a week. So like getting a car dealership, buying 12 cars, getting all the insurances, because I'm referencing a video where I bought a car dealership and gave away all the cars. Like just every little thing has to be done. And when you do that twice a week, plus like a lot of our videos, we spend 24 hours, like in a rainforest in a desert. It's just like literally I'm going nonstop, like working around the clock. And so is like a dozen other people with me full time and a lot of part-time people. And even with that, we're barely getting the content out. Like there's no way if I was doing this by myself, I would probably only be able to upload like 5 times a year. Yeah. Instead of like a month.
What's the craziest thing that's happened behind the scenes?
Yeah.
I have to ask.
That we can say publicly on this podcast.
You've been to the rainforest. You've been to Area 51.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, what are some of like the weirdest stuff that
Well,
happened?
that's hard to answer because I'm not really like a one and done type creator. I feel like every video really is like when people ask me what's your favorite video, it's like well, whatever I just uploaded is usually my answer. Like seriously, so
there's always something crazy that happens.
Yeah, it's like literally every 3 days I'm like, what is my life? What am I doing right now? You know what I mean? Like either it's camping in front of Area 51 or just giving away more money than I ever thought I would have 3 years ago. I mean, just everything. Literally any video is the craziest thing I've done because they're constantly getting bigger. Even to this day, we're still going bigger every week. So it's just like whatever we just did.
Do you feel like he'll plateau? I mean, if every idea that you do,
that's what people
bigger.
say, but I don't know, because like we used to be like, all right, $100,000 a video, but now we're like, okay, we're gonna spend $200,000 on a video, so it keeps going up. Obviously, we're not gonna get to the point where we're spending over $1 million a video, probably, unless you guys want to hook us up. So
I feel like that's why I was asked like probably like 5 times in the last hour.
It's okay though. Right?
No, that's it.
No. I know my team is always looking at
we've worked
all
together.
the stuff that you're doing and always trying to find brand deals because every brand wants to be affiliated with the stuff that you're doing. It's like, I mean, it's stuff that's never happened before. So one thing, you are projected to be one day the biggest, YouTuber and the biggest creator. What are other platforms that you're also investing in outside of YouTube that you think everyone should be taking seriously?
Well, I mean, any platform. I mean, whether it's TikTok, Reddit, or I mean, literally anyone with users, you should take seriously. I want to take every platform as seriously as I take YouTube. It's just, like a few years ago, I had nothing. Like I just started scaling up my business 2 years ago. So I just haven't built the infrastructure for Instagram and things like that. But I mean, if you can, take every platform serious. I mean, you can make just as much money off of Facebook as you do YouTube, obviously. And Instagram and Twitter are good for just driving traffic to pop a video off and things like that. So
it's just impressive. I mean, we went to lunch earlier, and I was just so impressed how your obsession and your passion is around winning, and doing something and doing it the best, and to the point where you won't do day part shows, you won't go on late night shows because you don't want to be distracted from doing what you do best.
Exactly.
And where at what point are you going to feel completely content?
I never
That's
will.
aspect.
And I think that, and that's what my mom tells me all the time is like, there's never been a day in my life where I've been like satisfied. It's like I could hit 10 million subscribers and like 10 seconds later be like, okay, I want 100 million. Like, let's go, you know? So I don't know. And I think it's a blessing and a curse because I think there are days where I'm like, wow, I work all this time, but I still feel like I have nothing. I know I have a lot, but you know what I mean? But I think that's part of why I am where I am because I just, no matter what I have, I just want more kind of. But I think it does come from a place of, it's not completely negative because I like helping people. And my 100% flat out goal is to make as much money as possible and give it away before I die. That's what I want to do. So it's not like, it's weird because I want to make a lot of money, but it's also because my mom, my brother, my sister, all my best friends work for me. Like everyone depends on me. I have to make a lot of money so I can make everyone I care about
There's a lot of altruism there.
Well, there's just a lot of people that depend on me, and that's part of it too. Whenever I'm like, that's why I struggle to take a day off because I'm like, as if this doesn't work out, and these people who quit their jobs and dropped out of college for me, and I have to like screw them over. I feel like I'd rather just work and be slightly, unhappy than to like ever have to disappoint someone. Like that works for me,
Well, that's very entrepreneurial. I mean, I think all of us, in a way or another, relate to that.
Yeah,
I remember when I sold my business, I was excited for like one day, and then I was like, I gotta get to work. I am not satisfied.
He's like,
I'm gonna lose everything. I'm gonna lose everything,
Same.
and then I get right back into it. But no, and you're the same way.
I totally am the same way. It's so bad. It is a condition, but it's bad. But I think the big thing, though, would you say that you're more motivated by the win? Like by the challenge, or is it a little bit of both?
Well, I'm motivated by a lot of things. That's where even I get confused sometimes because I want to help the people I care about that depend on me.
But is that a challenge though, too?
Yeah, exactly. And I love winning. There's so many things. I love helping people. It's almost like everything I care about in life just points towards being a big influencer, and just because like everything I want to do, just like growing my channel just so happens to make all that happen. It fuels my drive to just do big things and also allows me to help people I care about and help my family and things like that.
Winning is for the thrills. Giving is for sustaining.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things where it gives you purpose. It helps you just, be grounded and to have context of, there's more important things, but winning can fuel that, which is awesome.
Yeah. So there's a lot of people that are watching and listening to this podcast that are maybe plateaued or they're stuck, and you went years without even being successful. I mean, I saw this little video come up. It's like, dear future me, and I'm like, oh, wow.
Well, to give a little context, I made a video and then scheduled uploaded it for 5 years in the future. So like when I had 8K subs, I made a video that went public 5 years later. And I was like, I hope when this goes public, I have, I think I said 100,000 subscribers. But actually, that video goes, the one he's referencing is the one before it. But the 5-year one goes public in a year. Yeah. And I'll probably have like 30 million. But in the video, I'm like, I hope I have 100,000.
You're like, if I don't have 100,000, like, I'm
a failure. Yeah, and I said in the video that goes public next year, it's a time capsule, just to reiterate, so you're following along, that I made when I had 8,000 subscribers. I said, I wonder what college I'm in. I wonder what I'm doing when this goes public. And I also said, I hope I'm still alive. So that part's true. But no, it's funny because.
But so anyway, there's a lot of people that are grinding and trying to be successful. When did it click for you? Like in the moment, what was the video or what was the process in your brain that it says, oh, this is the way I need to do this?
Well, there's definitely like a million things I just learned along the way, because it was just literally the growth just steadily went faster and faster over the course of the years. But the biggest point was when Quebblecop, Jordy, showed me a graph where he took all his videos and he graphed them by click-through rate and average view duration. And the ones with the higher click-through rate and average view duration combined got the most views. And like videos with low click-through rate but high average view duration did all right, and high click-through rate, low average view duration did all right. But basically it showed that the higher both numbers are combined, exponentially more the views are. And that's when I was like, oh, so if I just get high click-through rate and people, if I get people,
sounds easy, but
but then it's like, okay, so just the higher these two metrics are, the more views you get, and then it's just about obsessing how to get the numbers up, really. I mean, because when you think about it, what does YouTube want? They want people to click and watch a video and click and watch a video, which sounds obvious, but to a lot of people, they haven't figured it out because they think it's either clickbait or average view duration. I don't think many people, and it seems so obvious, but I don't think many people realize that it's both, and the higher both are, the exponentially more the views.
Right. So there you go.
Do you remember? I think it was like 8 years ago when everyone had like neon colors in the background.
Oh, that still happens.
I used
still
to
happening?
do that back then.
Did you?
Yeah,
Like if somebody with like neon sunglasses and a pink background.
That's right.
it's funny.
Got to
'cause
grab their attention.
a lot of people who give YouTube advice do that. Like they use the same thumbnail and just like over and over, and it's like, I don't know if you should be giving advice.
Yeah, so it's about making sure that click-through rate is much higher, but then also making sure that the watch time increases.
Yes.
And gets better and stronger. And so basically you can't lie to the viewer. You have to have something that's really engaging, but something that's also going to make it so they're going to watch the entire video.
Exactly.
So basically, when you got the tools to be able to analyze, well, I mean, Quotable Cop did, but basically showed you, hey, this is the correlation between this, and you're like, okay, this is gonna be big. What was your first thought? Like, what video did you want to make? Because ultimately, you had ideas, and you're like, wait a minute, did that change your process of creation?
No, I feel like I've always been a creative person. Well, it obviously did change it, but one thing I feel like that is never really stated is I feel like I've been pretty creative from the start, because like the time capsule thing, to this day, I've still never seen anyone do that.
Right.
Schedule videos for 2, 5, 10, 60 years in the future.
Did you do 60 years?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I did benchmarks all along the way. Yeah. But like that, and there's so many different things I did along the way, like counting to 100,000 or, I'm drawing a blank, but like everything I did from the beginning, I always tried to be different. So once I just found out about click-through rate, it was just, making the thumbnails a little more brighter and, obviously just learning things here and there and then just adjusting as we went.
How often does YouTube reach out to you to get insight?
Not much, never really.
Oh, that's crazy.
I talked to them one time, because sometimes they take YouTubers through tours, and I talked to them, and I think they were pretty blown away by what I knew. But besides that, nothing really.
Wow, that's a huge miss from that platform, especially with how much you've been gaining.
But to their defense, though, I mean,
They know how this works.
Yeah.
Like they don't need me to tell them how their algorithm works.
But this is the thing, though. I mean, they definitely need to be listening to a customer and getting as much
agree with
insight
that.
as possible.
They do
from the customer.
they do. Like,
Sometimes I feel like they listen to the wrong creators.
Exactly.
That's just what I feel. And there's certain people that have their agendas and they want to accomplish that.
Well, there's definitely an anomaly here, though. I mean, and whenever there's an anomaly where there's like one creator that's just exploding, like you're exploding. I mean, there's a lot of data insight that needs to be gathered on like what's going through the mind of that specific creator. I mean, personally, I think YouTube could be doing a much better job in connecting with the content creators across the board and scaling that, creating a better structure for it.
Let's just put it this way. He just barely got his partner manager. Barely.
well, like a year ago. Yeah.
Sorry, hey, we had no plan on talking about this.
Yes. So
That's amazing.
To be honest, I wasn't always the cleanest. I used to be a little bit more edgier. So yeah, I didn't.
Okay.
For the longest time, I didn't have a partner manager. I mean, my ad rates were horrible. Like my first billion views would make you cry, literally. And back then,
I'll have to go back and watch now.
yeah,
you don't.
Well, I mean,
they're deleted now.
I mean, it's really not that bad. It's more like cursing, like
Yeah.
for the bulk of it. Like we would swear a lot, which a lot. So. And my mom always didn't like that. So I think I'm more stopped because of my mom and it just having our ad rates increase too. But
So listening to mom really helped.
yes, it actually did. But yeah, there wasn't really much support there's not much support needed really, but yeah, no.
Well, in a way, it's probably nice to be able to just do it on your own and like make stuff happen and innovate on your own. And
yeah,
But having the support is needed because I mean you were dealing with stuff like copyright claims and everything that could have been resolved very easily if you had a partner manager.
I mean, it was at the end of the day, it is my fault. A lot of the ones though, where we just sang a song for like 3 seconds, like that was dumb, and I lost hundreds of thousands of dollars to that at a time where I had no money and I was literally
edit it out.
I was living paycheck to paycheck on that, and like I was barely paying my employees at the time. And I was like, all right, like we had a loan on standby at all times, but so that really sucked at that point.
So, and going into a different direction, you are so excited to be able to work with brands.
Yes.
And what gave you that bug to just be really excited to collaborate with brands and have them help empower your content?
Well, I mean, I just want to make a win-win for everyone. Like if they give me money, I will give it all away if that's what they want. Usually I want to do it. They don't even have to tell me. And then it makes them look good. I get a video and whoever I give the money to is happy. So I just think I found a way where everyone wins. And it's just like, to me, it makes sense,
That's awesome. Do you remember the first brand?
Oh yeah, of
collaboration
course.
you had?
It was Squid. They offered me $5,000 and I said double it and I'll go give it to a homeless person. They're like, no, you won't. People fake that. I was like, I promise. And then they gave me $10,000 and I literally right when I got it, withdrew it. I went outside and gave it to a homeless person. But now that is a little reckless and he's fine, but just giving money to people on the streets isn't the best idea. So now when we do stuff with homeless people, like we spend $100,000 on supplies and took it to random shelters and things like that. But at the time, I had no idea.
You bought a complete store.
Yeah.
And then you went and gave it to them.
And then we also did that too. But before that, we just bought like half of a Sam's Club. Then we bought an entire store. Yeah. But I mean, I just like working with brands because I feel like it's a win-win. And I, like the videos as of right now are popping and get a lot of views. So I just like, we all win. Why not? You know?
That's awesome.
So
Go ahead.
did you have another brand thing? Because that's your thing.
You
working at brand.
You want to write me a check? I mean, I'm here.
I would love to.
Okay. I don't know if I made it clear, but like a brand deal would be cool. I could use some help over here.
Is there any like specific brand deal that you can think of that really just like got a really positive response from your audience?
Almost all of them. I mean, I've never had a negative response, but Honey is a good one. People, it's just kind of been like a meme because we've been sponsored by them so much. They bought some videos in bulk, and just the viewers are like, "Hey, it's Honey," the thing Beast promotes. But also, the first one was Squid. I did, I think, 10 videos with them because, and every video they paid me more for the most part because every time I would do it and it'd go super viral, and I'd be like, okay. And like they would get a lot of downloads and they'd be happy. I'd be like, cool, can I get a little more money? And then we just did that. And so we really just kind of grew together because the installs kept going up and the videos kept going more viral. And it was a win-win for both of us.
Out of all the videos that you've done, is there one that sticks out that was the most memorable?
No, I mean, they're all like super memorable. I know I hate to be that guy, but like, I mean,
he's that guy.
Yeah, like, well, I mean, buying
I love all my work.
Buying an entire store and giving it to homeless shelter was cool, but so was giving away cars, and like so is spending 24 hours in the desert with my boys. Like they all hit different feelings for me, but they all like mean a lot, you know.
That's great.
So you have a couple of projects that's coming up that is like super, super exciting. One that's about to happen.
Yeah, actually, when this goes up, it will have already happened. But we're trying to plant 20 million trees by the end of the year, which basically
That's amazing.
We partner with the Arbor Day Foundation. They are pros at planting trees. They planted hundreds of millions. For every dollar we raise, me and like other influencers, they're gonna put a tree in the ground. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So where did the idea come from? I mean, what's the? I mean, is this your idea that you thought, or how did this all?
So, I mean, just to put it plainly, when I hit 20 million, well, actually, a little backstory. Every time I hit a million milestone, like 3 million subscribers, I gave my 3 million subscriber 3 million pennies. When I hit 4 million subscribers, I gave my 4 million subscriber.
Where did you get 3 million pennies first of all?
Well, okay. I feel like we're going to. Well, so for the 3 million pennies,
Let's talk about logistics.
Well, yeah. Well, okay. If you really want to know, when I hit 3 million subscribers, I wanted to give him 3 million pennies. So you can't just get 3 million pennies. We called the treasury, the whatever. We couldn't get it. So then I had to buy it off of eBay, which 3 million pennies is $3,000. But off of eBay, that's a 50% markup. So it's actually $45,000. And then we had to rent a bunch of 18-wheelers because that's like 10,000 pounds or something. So then that was a lot of money. And then we had to load them up with a forklift we had to get. And then we had to drive it super far away to the guy's house. And then we had to get a forklift there to dump it off. I mean, it was a lot because at 3 million subscribers, $50,000 on a video was like insane. Like, because that, by the way, that video literally only made $5,000. So
so you're like, okay.
Everyone thought it was crazy and for good, because like I was saying earlier, my ad rates back then were pretty terrible. So everyone thought it was crazy. I was like, trust me, I think this will just get like 100 million views. Just let me do it. And I think it only got like 5 at the time. But
so you have these milestone videos, and then your audience gets used to these milestones.
Exactly. 5 million. I gave my 5 million subscriber 5 million pieces of popcorn. We did it. So then when I hit 20 million subscribers, I didn't do anything. We were going to do like Skittles, but like it fell through. And I was like, I guess I can't do it. And then my fans were like, plant 20 million trees. I was like, I can't really do that. They're like, we want 20 million trees.
No, you literally have like a subreddit that's all they want.
Yeah, it went viral on Reddit and Twitter, and people were just like, Beast, plant 20 million trees. I was like, that's not possible. They're like, do it. I was like, okay, calm down. Just give me some months. And so that's when I started it's a long, explanation. But basically, we just brainstormed it out for a while, and we figured like it's just genuinely not possible for me to do it. So then I got a bunch of creators together and partnered with Arbor Day. And
But let's get into the specifics because I think there's something that both creators and brands can learn by this process because this is a massive undertaking. This is going to take a lot of manpower and money to actually pull off.
Yes.
And the idea came and you're like, okay, you saw it from Reddit and you says, this is not feasible. You already did the research.
Yeah.
What was the next step? Like, how did you get it so that you're actually going to
Well,
do
actually,
this?
the first thing we were like, okay, well, then we'll just tell our subscribers to plant trees. And that's what I ran with for a few months is I was like, I was going to drop this video, encourage them to just go get seeds and plant it. But then once I did research, I realized it could be an invasive species and planting trees could actually do more harm than good if you don't plant them right. So I was like, So then we went back to the drawing board. I started talking to Mark Rover, who did a lot of help.
He is brilliant.
Yeah, he's a really great guy. He's really humble and everything too. And I really enjoyed working with him. So then we started talking. We slowly figured out like the only way we could make this happen is partnering with an organization. And then we're like, well, I mean, as much as we want to plant trees, and I even went out and planted a few thousand trees, it's just not possible. So then we're just like, we'll raise money and let the pros do what the pros do best. And so then we got a bunch of creators together, and hopefully when you see this, we've raised $20 million.
And by the end of the year, all 20 million trees are going to be planted?
No. So the goal is to raise the money by the end of the year, and then they're going to plant them next
So
year.
2020,
Okay,
they're
great.
going to spend the whole year.
But
Oh,
technically,
nice,
you could
nice.
use some mandates because they're planting trees year round. So you could
And
say,
where are they planting them?
that you'll have to reach out to them. I let them handle it. I have just been told they're putting trees in the ground. Every dollar a tree goes in the ground, and I have that guaranteed. And I'm like, okay, that's what I need to know.
That's awesome.
So I think what to learn from this, and I think this is something all of us like to really do something that's disruptive because this is. I mean, to raise $20 million.
Hopefully,
You know,
we'll see.
Well, we'll see if it works.
Yeah.
But to raise that, and then also, you know, to get people to want to do it with you, you know, is a big deal. And you're working with the brands. You have YouTube that's, you know, helping you in a lot of different
Discovery's
regards.
doing part of it too.
And then you're doing there's going to actually be a donate button that they can actually pay right on YouTube. So there's a lot of logistical things. And like, how does this all work? I mean, seriously, like who do you reach out to when you're like, okay, I got this great idea. Me and Mark, we want to do this. How do you make it to the next step?
Well, for this one, I've been brute forcing a lot of it myself. We've had multiple hour-long phone calls a couple times a week for months now, and then we just hired organizer Matt to just do all the behind the scenes and like reach out to brands for us. But for the most part, it's me and Mark. We put I don't want to say too much, but we put a lot of time into this, more than I should have, because that's why a lot of my uploads have been lacking recently because I've just been going so hard on this.
Yeah, but this is pretty ambitious. I think this is by far the most ambitious thing that you've
and
done.
it's going to do good too. And also, I mean, yes, like it's good for the planet. But another thing is I just want to change the stigma of how YouTubers are perceived. You know, we still are seen as, you know, big controversy. I'm not going to name a controversy.
Yeah.
But that's how we're seeing a lot of very few controversies. And I feel like even though like a lot of creators do good, I think if we all band together and do good together, it might make a little more noise.
More impact.
Yeah. And then I want to help the planet. And I also just want to change the way we're perceived because a lot of YouTubers do like lots of charity stuff, but like, where do you see that reported? You know? But that same person like does one slip up, you know, obviously not even intentional, but that's everywhere. But if they raise a few $100,000 for charity, no one cares, you know?
Yeah.
Why is that? I mean, why?
I think we all know why.
Come on.
Yeah.
No. Why is the negativity getting much bigger splashes than the positive? stuff?
Do you not go up online? I mean,
No. I know it's happening.
We all fall for it. I mean, it's just more interesting.
Do you think there's other like media companies that see it as competition and they want to paint an ugly picture? I mean,
this is where I can't talk. You guys let me know in this conversation. Have we moved on?
Should we skip past the part? There's obviously some.
there's always something
You guys
going
are on
on.
the same page with something that I have no idea what's going on.
Okay, well,
But I think the big thing is this. It's like whenever they can create drama, they're going to create drama because that's what get more clicks and more eyeballs. And that's where it's at. And realistically, at the end of the day, and this is something that we can talk about a little bit, but fake news. Like there's a lot of fake news that are out there. And like you even have presidential candidates that are putting out fake news just to prove a point. And I think, you know, that right there is a huge problem. And I think there's a lot of spillover when someone does something as a YouTuber and they just kind of blow it completely out of proportion. Then there's other YouTubers that just do it themselves, you know?
yeah, exactly.
But
I remember there are a couple. I'm not going to mention the name of the sites, but there were these small specialized sites specifically for the YouTube community, and they'd say something really controversial about a specific YouTuber or creator, and even though they had no traffic, there'd still be creators that like freak out about it and talk about it, and then make that site very relevant.
Yeah.
And then that site became a very popular site later on. So like my whole thing is like I'm still kind of confused. I mean, I guess basically what's happening, there's probably a lot of different like media outlets and different news sites that probably just want to increase their CPMs and get more traffic. And then they're
it's all about the eyeballs. It always has been,
get
always
as many
will be.
people
It's
on
just,
their site and make some clickbait stuff.
If writing an article about someone raising $100,000 for charity like got more clicks than drama, they would do it. I mean, it's capitalism. They're just doing, what keeps the business afloat,
even if they're creating the fake news.
Yeah.
Well, anyway,
That's frustrating.
let's
But
move
anyways,
on.
that's not me. I'm a golden boy. Give me your money.
Let's definitely move on because it's a very depressing subject.
I'm not allowed to give input. I'm controversial free. Give me your brand money.
That's great. So you mentioned how you got to take all platforms seriously. Do you ever see yourself, getting involved with a streaming platform like an Amazon Prime or like a Netflix, or do you feel like that's something that's just gonna be too distracting on what you're doing really well?
Well, it's hard because of the nature of my videos, but I mean, money is what fuels a lot of what I do. And if enough money's there, I'll do what I have to so I can keep going bigger and better and keep helping people. So that's really it. Like if I could spend $1 million a video, I mean, I would. Yeah, it just depends what offers present themselves. But for the most part, as of right now, all I want to do is YouTube. I just want to focus on it. I don't want to do anything else. And I just want to make the best videos possible. And every dollar I make, I just want to put back in and just keep doing that as long as possible.
Has YouTube approached you to do anything on their paid platform or any
we were going to do like a YouTube original, but it kind of fell through. I don't know. Maybe I'll be in YouTube Rewind this year. We'll see. I wasn't in last year. Yeah.
Have you ever been in Rewind?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're like I said,
that's a totally other issue.
But to be fair,
it's super relevant.
last year's was the most disliked. So maybe I got lucky. I wasn't asked.
Yeah.
Probably.
So let's talk about business side, because I mean you have you're working with a lot of brands. You have a massive team. I've been out there a couple times, and you got people running all over the place buying all this stuff. I mean, trying to collect all
because
these
I
pennies.
just genuinely can't do it on my own.
Yeah,
like these
for
are
sure.
these are big, literally like mini movie logistical nightmares. And if I did it on my own, I would only upload once every 3 months.
Yeah.
So they keep going.
So you have a lot that's going on business wise, but I know just having a relationship with you, and we're friends.
Yeah,
I would say we're friends.
Well, we talk a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, we do. But what gets you excited about business? Like you have the video side and making money, and I totally get that. But from all the other stuff that you have to do, what actually gets you excited about business?
Yeah, this is where it's hard because I don't have concrete answers when it comes to like my reasoning for anything. But I would say the biggest thing is just I want to be the best at YouTube. Like that's really it. For whatever reason, when I made my first video, from then on out, I was obsessed, and I just can't stop. I can't. I take a day off, and I feel like I'm a waste of space. You know what I mean? So I naturally got into the business side just so I could scale up my channel and go bigger, because I just constantly wanted to do bigger videos. But it was because I hit a point where the videos were getting bigger, but the uploads were going down. And I was like, if I kept continuing, I was going to upload once a year. So I was like, I had to do something. And that's where I just started hiring people. I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know any legal stuff. I just went to all my friends. I was like, you want a job? And then every month after that, I brought on a new employee, and I did that for 2 years.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
What I was impressed with is that you actually have a couple people that are extremely key there. And when I go talk with a lot of YouTubers, it's like the YouTubers doing it. They might have some people that's there, and there's kind of a disconnect. But I actually met your cousin, and I was like blown away. First off, that he was even related to you.
I know.
But
I met him in Texas as well, right? Oh, he's great.
Yeah, just an amazing guy. And then your mom is like handling things too. It's just like crazy. How is it to work the family dynamics? I mean, here you are. You're the one that is in charge, but yet they're picking up the slack.
It's a lot. I mean, there's been lots of fights, especially now that money isn't as, because we're bigger, even though we still keep the margins razor thin, like we can slow down at any point if we needed to. But back when I was like going all in every month and like we didn't know if we were going to be screwed, it was a lot. It was very emotional. There's a lot of fights and yeah, it was.
They're like, but taxes, Jimmy, taxes.
Well, it was like, I wanted to. Videos are always more expensive than they seem. Like, oh, I just want to get my 3 million subscriber, 3 million pennies, like I was talking about before. It's like, oh, that's only 30 grand. But as you start getting the 18-wheelers and the videos progress, they always got more expensive.
Right.
To the point where I was just like depleting. Like, we were like, all right, don't spend more than this. And then I would spend way over it all the time. And we would just, my mom would be like, all right, next month, can you leave more than like $100 after we pay employees? Because like we would make 100 grand and then I would just spend 101 grand. And like, we just spend more than I make, you know? And so it's very stressful, especially. But now that things are a lot better, I just bought my mom a summer home and I'm like, go have fun. So,
it's great.
Yeah. So, and that's what I always told her is I just needed them for like 2 to 3, or I still use my cousin. I'm always going to use them. But for my mom, I just needed her for a few years because I couldn't trust anyone else with like my books and stuff like that. But now I'm like, go have fun. This is all I needed. Like now I want to spoil you.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
That's awesome. It's good to have those checks and balances along the way because, I mean, you could have self-destructed in some ways, maybe if you didn't have all
so
that
many
support.
times. There's so many times I could
he would have
gone
spiraled down.
Yeah,
for sure.
There's so many times.
There's just no way.
That's why I have a hard time seeing another version of me popping up because I mean, I was getting by the skin of my teeth every step of the way. To be honest, I was a little crazy. Yeah, there's another world where it didn't work out, and I'm just like poor.
Anyone that's really successful is always a little crazy.
Yeah,
a little half nuts.
That's how it is.
Yeah, but like when I wanted to drop out of college and I didn't have that much money, I was crazy. When I wanted to spend $10,000, when I got 10 grand for a brand deal and then gave it away, I was insane. When I got my first big YouTube paycheck and then spent it all in a week, I was on content. I was crazy. But the one thing I've never done is not spend the money on YouTube content. So I've always felt like that's the same thing to do. And that's
reinvesting. Yeah,
and that's where I feel like reinvesting YouTube content was kind of looked at negatively because all along the way people thought I was crazy. Literally up until recently, even now they're like, "Why do you still spend millions of dollars on videos?" I'm like, "Because I want to keep growing. Like, why not?"
It's smart. I mean, you're looking at it long term rather than short term.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's what. But see, I had so many conversations with people like that earlier on, and so many people like used to react to like videos, and they would make fun of me because I'd put in so much effort back then. And I'd be like, well, people will recognize what I'm doing and it will pick up. But back then, like people literally used to pull like triple the views I pull with like 1/100th the effort. And they would make fun of me and be like, you'll never pass me and you try so hard. And then when I finally did figure out what I was doing and like people started to really resonate and the content took off, they're like, oh, and now a lot of them do similar stuff to what I do.
Do you ever see yourself having dozens of channels?
Yes, definitely.
They're all like where you have like your own like network.
Well, I already have like 2, my brothers that I'm mostly running, and then we have a life hack one. So that's where it's hard because I'm in North Carolina and I can't find like really solid talent. But if I had a good talent of people or a good pool of people, I would have like 10, 20, honestly.
Already, like.
Well, it's because I just need help managing them. I know exactly how to make a channel successful. I just need people who I can download, have them sign a non-compete, and then just run it. You know what I mean? But as of right now, I don't really have those type of people in North Carolina.
I think when you get to the point where you have like 10 or like over a dozen channels, that's when, your creativity is going to be so exhausted.
No,
where you're going to be happy with monitoring profit.
No.
Hey, wait. You don't know him very well.
Yeah.
He's never going to be happy.
Yeah, exactly. But I wouldn't do it on my own. Like you bring on partners and have people who are good at certain things help, Like if I'm sitting there overseeing everything, that'd be insane. Yeah.
Yeah, no, of course.
So let's shift gears a little bit and let's talk about the algorithm a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think it'll be a fun conversation. And there's a lot of controversy right now dealing with, COPA and the FTC and kids content and, suggestion. Where do you see YouTube going with just the algorithm itself? I mean, it's done a pretty dang good job at defining what people want to watch and serving that content.
Well, there's a lot there, but in terms of like people who make content like me, I don't know, because obviously like kids channels are getting hit and like God only knows what's going to happen there. But for the most part, it's pretty straightforward. If someone clicks and watches a video, they get more of it. Like I know there's tons of data points and you can make it complex, but what would they change to? I've read a little bit about quality watch time, but even then, I don't know how they're gonna do that without a ton of manual reviews. And
It's
stuff.
going to have a ton of manual reviews.
Yeah,
and I don't know who's going to be reviewing
exactly.
content.
So I mean, besides that, I don't see how or why they would even change it. Like it clearly works.
Well, apparently, when you're looking at it, there's a lot of rustling going on with the FTC. Is like you can't track even to suggest videos to kids.
Yeah.
That does have a spillover effect because the way that they're talking right now, and I was just actually on the phone today with an attorney that was dealing with the attorneys with the FTC, and it was really bad. Like, because ultimately, it's not what if it was intended for the kids, but what the kids gravitate towards, that content that's there. And then two, if you turn off suggestions, if most people don't know this, like 70% of all YouTube views, almost to 75% is YouTube recommending the videos for them to watch.
Are you talking about unsuggested or homepage and suggested?
We're talking homepage and suggested.
Yeah,
So that's like of all the views
Wait,
that
it's
happen.
that little? I thought it would be like 90%.
No. Like out of all the views that happen every day, that's where it is. Like for YouTube recommendation, it's close to 75%.
So the other 25 is external and subscription
and search.
Okay.
And search.
Oh, gotcha.
Because it is a search
Okay.
engine.
That's true.
Right.
But anyway, so it was on the phone with this attorney, and he says, "Well, look, they're looking to any content that kids would gravitate to. They're going to basically, hammer as well. That's a pretty big deal. So what I'm saying is, and this is where I'm getting at, is like when YouTube is forced by a government agency that doesn't necessarily understand."
Yeah.
What it means to be on YouTube and a creator and the algorithm and how it works, and that legislation and is going to come in, that could have a massive ripple effect.
Of course. That's where I would be more knowledgeable if it would directly affected me. I mean, I'm sure it's like a small percentage of my viewers are kids, but I don't think it would be too detrimental to me. But I do know, like, obviously, like Chad Wildclay and people who are like borderline young teens and kids. I mean, that could potentially wipe them out. I mean, I'd be terrified.
So let's just talk it from a brand's perspective, because I mean, you handle a lot of brand accounts and do all the fun stuff from there. I mean, if brands are like, if they can't buy targeted ads and they can't do integrated brand deals, which that's looking to be the case.
Yeah. Wait, they don't want those?
Oh
either?
yeah, it's like crazy.
Any form of
crazy.
advertising.
Any form of advertising
For anyone under 13.
Is that brand gonna spend more money with another creator? And then two, like is kids are gonna now gravitate, since they can't get the content that they've been used to getting, are they gonna gravitate to other content that would actually get a slap?
Yeah, I think brands are going to focus on whatever is right, and they're going to follow the law, to the T, and so, but to me, what's interesting is the lack of effort to target people that are 40 plus or 30 plus, because if you really look at it, if you look at all the children content that's been out there, and this is something where I was surprised when, the adpocalypse was happening. I was surprised that this never surfaced. The issue with all the children's content that was out there is you would see a lot of advertisements that were targeting senior citizens or, Rogaine.
I wonder why.
And the reason why is because these children were using people that had 40 plus or 30 plus age. The accounts
just basically device sharing.
Yeah, they'd use. Yeah, it'd be device sharing. They'd be using either their grandparents or their parents' devices.
iPad nanny. You've never done that, have you?
Never.
I mean, it makes sense.
My kids don't get to just watch
Vampirina.
my iPod.
Especially like the
or
younger
iPhone.
ones, they don't even have iPhones. So like the only way they can use YouTube is through their parents' phones.
So what was interesting to me is like the controversy is, where these media agencies and where these brands, realizing that children were watching their content.
Yeah.
A big chunk of the views that they probably got on a lot of those ads that were they're trying to target women 30 plus or men 40 plus.
All I have to say though,
getting in front of children.
This is all I got to say is they were lazy. That's
Yes.
it. No, because I've bought ads as long as Google ads have
For
been
sure.
up there.
And I think
it's
the
just like
same
all you got to.
argument is probably true
It's
around
just like,
adpocalypse
are they going to
as
just
well.
basically do the whole thing, or are you going to be very segmented on it? And
Right.
you can do negative targeting, you can do positive targeting.
100%.
And they just got lazy, so it's their own fault.
So I guess like probably toy companies probably have to be the most careful in what they're doing, because I think that's even though the toy reviewer is going to be talking about toys anyways, if it's sponsored, that might be an area where it's a little
gray.
of a gray area. However, brands overall, I think too many of them were targeting the children without knowing that they're targeting the children.
So
They thought they're targeting an older demographic.
I guess
and that's why the children's content was the highest monetized content out of everyone. There were so many people making.
Wait, is
so
that a
much money.
fact? It was the highest monetized?
Well, a lot of these.
really high.
It's really high, very high CPMs
Really?
when it came to AdSense. And so to me, that was what was very controversial. Is that there are all these ad agencies spending millions and millions of dollars to babies.
Yeah.
So I think my biggest thing, and I think just kind of to pivot back to your situation, and because since you're a guest here on this, but it's like, look, there are a lot of people in government that will make regulations of what we can and can't do on YouTube. And, that can cause a crossover effect. But what can YouTube do from your perspective to improve content, like from the algorithm side, or, like if they were watching this, which I hope they are, what advice would you give them to improve?
Yeah. So YouTube, just to improve the algorithm.
Or tools that they give creators.
I mean, they do a pretty good job of giving everything you need. So I feel like it's more on the education side on how to use it. Like the pop-ups. I mean, literally you could just you really wanted to explain it, you could just make it where it automatically graphs the videos. Well, but they basically do it now. When you open Creator Studio, it says the retention there.
Exactly.
And everyone almost has real-time CTR. They kind of just shove it in your face, and people just refuse to really dive into it. They get scared. They're like, data frustrates me.
Yeah, they feel overwhelmed at times.
Exactly. Overwhelmed is a good word.
I think the only thing that I would like to see, we can see the acquisition stage, but I think the churn, when people are not, I'd rather have more reports
and if we were going to do that, yes, I would like to see that, and I'd like to be able to see session time, where they go after my video, and because that's very valuable.
I think that's the golden keys of the kingdom, to be honest with you. It's just
if they gave us that, then I would be like, all right, you can just
related
stop.
videos. It just
I mean, okay, if we're getting that small, I would like to see which channel they have the highest sub overlap with, and I mean, they do show us which videos they watch, through suggested off of it, but I don't know. I just more be able to compare my audience to other audiences too, because that would allow me to study. If someone has a high overlap, I could study, what we do similar and take notes from them and things like that. And then just session time in general.
Yeah. I don't know. I think they've done an excellent job with the tools that we have. I think there's a couple big things. I know that they're getting ready to sunset the classic mode. That's going to make a lot of creators really, really mad. But seriously, if they could put a little bit more manpower, because handling two systems, it's just almost impossible.
It's about time to get it. There's a few things that, I mean, it just takes time to get used to a new one, but everything's there for the most part. I remember they didn't have relative retention.
Oh, that was killing
I was
me.
like, whoa, someone.
For me, it was groups. I was like, okay, I don't know who's thinking about this, but this is one of the most important things.
Yeah.
Why would you want to group videos together? I'm like, I got to structure data. This is all unstructured.
And to be fair, I was one of those people too, until Daryl grouped my videos by, he grouped them by what I did. So he took the 24-hour challenge videos, the videos where I give away money, and put them in groups. And we looked at the view to sub conversion on all of them, and videos where I give away money was astronomically higher. The amount of people that sub per view than if
it was 5 times the amount.
Yeah. So and if my goal is to grow subscriber wise, I know how. And there's a couple other things too. By just grouping them, I could see you can just per view how they increase certain numbers.
So you have certain videos that are better for building your subscribers than others that are better for views.
Actually, the ones that build subscribers actually get a lot of views too. So it kind of goes hand in hand. I just had never noticed.
He's just every video I put out is going to get me subscribers. That's all I care about. Just let's make it the best.
And then he showed me. So
what about YouTube Premium? I've heard that there's a pattern where different creators are starting to see a lot more of their revenue coming from Premium.
I mean, I could just tell you right now if you guys
Sure.
just talk.
Okay,
For
let's talk while he's pulling it up.
What about with your 10 channels, Daryl?
So
It's 10 now. I thought
No,
No,
it's like 5,
seven.
right? Oh, it's
Seven.
7. Okay.
But no, the thing is, it's this. It's like it depends on your audience. Like if you're in the tech world, absolutely premium is going to be
It's
there.
a much higher.
100%.
Basically an older audience.
If you're in
right?
a younger demographic, absolutely not. Unless you're on mom and dad's shared account, because you can have multiple accounts that's connected to YouTube Premium. But I see it slowly adopting, but there's not a lot of benefit outside of just no ads.
you can't see on your phone.
Yeah.
Okay, well, there you go, YouTube. That's a fix. Let us see that. I almost just threw my phone on the ground out of rage.
That'd be like the third phone this week. But
Yeah, literally.
So I've heard the same thing about tech channels or education channels.
anything that's early adopters, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean that seems to be where there are influencers that are making much more money now. I've heard up to 50%
Oh.
from YouTube Premium.
Wow. Don't
Yeah.
put that number in many people's heads because that's nowhere near for me. Mine's like a few percent, if
A
that.
few percent.
Yeah.
Are you
it's
up to
not-
like 10%?
No, it's
Oh,
nowhere
okay.
near that. No.
Yeah, and his is a younger demographic too. So it's
Right.
like when you
No,
get
mine's older. I only 20-year-olds
No, I
watch me.
So now you guys need to be getting together and figure out how do you increase your YouTube Premium.
Well, I mean, the join
Well,
button would be
it-
way better.
No, I mean he's doing okay. He's on Google Preferred now, so he's okay.
Literally for a few days. I don't know.
Like for 5 years.
How long have you been Google Preferred?
I literally just got on it. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Congrats.
I mean, well, I already pulled billions of views. They could have used it a long time ago. But yeah.
Well, cool. Well, let's transition. We ask all our guests this. This is really important, though. It's like, where do you see the industry going? I mean,
Yeah.
in the next couple of years, like from your perspective, we can solely focus on YouTube if you want, or just kind of the industry in general.
Well, I like focusing on YouTube because that's just what I love. I honestly see it just being top dog for a really long time. Even if someone came along, the catalog and the algorithm and everything is just so fine-tuned, and just the catalog is so massive. Like, how would anyone even overtake them within whatever the next 5 years? You know, so I just see YouTube sitting on top, and people who
I think someone did. I can't remember who did this, but I was seeing it. They did. It was like 2.1 billion video views.
Yeah, because
or
they
videos.
searched the URL thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I see it just sitting there, at least in the short term, and for the people who know how it works and really just figure out how to scale up and print, get content. Because I don't see the algorithm changing much either. It's not like they're gonna shift from like click through rate to colors of the thumbnail or something. I don't even know what other data point they would use.
Do you think that other platforms like TikTok, like I'm really interested in TikTok.
I am too.
And it seems to take more of my time because you only have so much time that you can watch.
Yeah.
Do you see a big shift happening to that?
Well, no
type of
matter
content?
what, though, like even TikTok, right? Like YouTube, you want to go watch a live stream, right? Like I watch esports. I'm like,
Right.
that's not live streamed on TikTok. You want to figure out how to fix a car? That's not on TikTok. Well, I'm serious. So, and then once you search that, you're going to go watch other videos afterwards. Then you're going to find creators you like, and you're going to be hooked. Like YouTube, as of right now, nothing's stopping it. Anytime you have a question and you need a video, you go to YouTube or you Google it and it pops up first.
Because
for
it works
YouTube.
as a search engine.
Yeah, well, and I think the partnership with Google is what makes it, basically unstoppable at the moment. Because whenever you Google something, YouTube comes up. So sure, use TikTok, but you're gonna Google something eventually. You're gonna need to see something, and then after that on YouTube, you're gonna watch other creators, and then you're gonna start using it again. It's just, you know what I mean?
There's more of a rabbit hole effect.
exactly, yeah.
100%, an ethical rabbit hole too.
And-
Yes.
Yeah.
Good rabbit hole.
So sure, that's how I feel about it, and so I'm really excited. I think like the next 3 to 5 years are.
They have an
insane.
advantage because they have more data out there.
Oh,
They
absolutely.
have more content. No one can really compete.
I mean,
with
there's
that.
more than that. Like Android phones, like the software is cheaper if you get YouTube
Yep.
on it. Like Google, it's just not even. Well, I don't want to say not fair, but it's just like no one can compete with.
We
them.
don't need government regulations on that.
We don't need them. It is fair. It is Amazon and other companies have lots of money. They could do it. They just don't want it. There you go. But yeah, I mean,
And I think one thing that is going to continue to happen is consumers, they want to watch content as quickly as possible,
yes.
and they don't want to be disrupted in the process. And so a lot of people are talking about that. There's all these streaming platforms. We've talked about how there's going
it's
to
crazy.
be micro platforms, versions of Netflix, around comedy or around horror films or other things. But really, what it comes down to, YouTube is just becoming bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And if there's going to be a place where it's going to be the one-stop shop, I think it's going to be after YouTube acquires a Netflix or one of these huge streaming platforms. I think it's actually very possible to happen. I don't think it makes sense.
I don't think it makes sense.
Well, where I don't think it makes sense, I do think it makes sense for them to do an acquisition and to tie them together. I think there's a lot of exciting stuff that could happen.
I don't think the government will even allow that.
That's what I was.
I don't think the government is thinking about entertainment like this.
What are you talking about, man?
I really don't.
They're trying to break up Facebook right now.
If YouTube were to acquire Netflix, I don't think there's going to be a huge hearing.
What are you talking about?
Well, they can't
this
acquire.
Is not like AT&T merging with Verizon.
Yeah, but they can't
Goodness
acquire
gracious.
Twitch, but they can acquire Netflix. Like,
Well, I mean, did they ever want to? I mean, did they try to acquire Twitch ever?
yeah,
Yeah.
They did. They
They
got
the
wouldn't do
government
it.
stop it?
Yeah.
They wouldn't sell to them.
Wait.
That's how Amazon got it, and they got it cheaper because Google was turned
because
down.
the government got involved.
They-
Is that really the case?
Yeah.
It was going to drag it out the process.
Oh, that's very interesting.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like,
Well, I think there's going to be some form of acquisition because, look, YouTube doesn't need to do what Amazon and what Netflix and what Hulu's doing. They're already ahead when it comes to demand, watching content on demand. There's a lot more content there, and there's a much bigger variety of purpose.
So-
and YouTube creating their own original content, I think, was very distracting and didn't really make sense. What makes sense is just to keep making the platform better so more people can find more relevant content quicker.
yeah. And I think too, like, there was an article a while back about the CEO of Netflix, what he really feared who his competition was. It wasn't anybody
Fortnite.
else. It's Fortnite.
Yeah.
It was Fortnite. And it's where the eyeballs are going currently. And I can tell you, having teenage boys that live in the house, it's Minecraft and Fortnite and actually your videos too. So they're kind of going over there. So, but it's just like, at the end of the day, that's where, where the biggest competition is. And I don't know. I think Netflix is, I hate to say this, but I think they're going to be dropping in value, quarter after quarter until,
Or they're going to be becoming stronger.
I just,
it might be one of those.
Yeah, but
just-
Netflix is only as good as the content on there. With everyone, a lot of the content making it big, like Friends, their number one show got pulled off for HBO Plus, and then Disney.
The Office is
HBO
leaving.
Max.
Yeah. Or HBO Max, and then Disney Plus. Like everyone's pulling their content off, so
And that's going to keep happening. But I think, there is a path for them to just continue to scale and innovate and getting on good content. They're very strong when it comes to content acquisition.
But what I'm saying is, even pulling YouTubers to do original Netflix series, like I haven't seen one that actually I was interested in, and I don't think anyone really just took off, from there. And so the way that the younger Generation Z, is consuming content is not Netflix style. Like I just don't see that happening.
I can't stand it. I watch like YouTube on my smart TV. I will literally open up Netflix and I'm like, I don't want to watch any of this. This is too long.
For me, if I want to binge a series, that's when I'm on Netflix. But I'm
Yeah.
also on CBS All Access. I'm also on Hulu. I'm also on Amazon.
Yeah, but
You're
see,
on
I'm
everything.
I'm on
you're
everything.
different. You're different.
But with YouTube, that's what I do when I'm, listening to something in the morning, or if I'm taking a shower or anything like that. Like I always have YouTube on, or I listen to YouTube even when I'm driving, where I'm not even watching it.
Yeah, same.
I mean, YouTube has the platform where it can take on more content, and so I disagree with the comment of that their biggest competitor is Fortnite. I know they said that. It really is YouTube. Because that's where the Fortnite content is. That's where the Minecraft content is. We know that Minecraft has always been for the last 10 years has been always the biggest gaming brand there. YouTube is what has changed television when it comes to paying attention to gaming, paying attention to beauty content. And so yes, gaming, obviously there's an argument that form of entertainment does compete with film and with TV, etc. But I really see them as different animals. I really think it's, video content versus video content, and YouTube is probably the biggest competition to all those streaming platforms.
Well, of course,
Yeah.
it's the biggest one. Yeah.
Well,
But no matter what, I do think we can. You agree? Like Netflix is good. Like, there's no way. Like all these competitors are stealing content and growing, and they're just gonna continue growing steadily too.
Well, it just depends because you have a lot of these competitors coming in. You have like Peacock, you have Quibi, you have Apple, you have Disney Plus,
Even down to weird things like
you have-
Discovery Go and everything.
Sure, like,
Discovery Go.
Everything's becoming streaming. Like anything that's on television today is going to be streamed somewhere else. That's already happening. So there's all these competitors out there, It's basically based on who can get the most content and the best content the fastest. And Netflix, I think there's an argument they do have, data and they have done it the longest when it comes to streaming, that I think they can still come out of it on top.
I don't know.
Other than YouTube.
I don't know. I think that's going to be like time will tell.
Yeah.
And I just noticed that they're scaling back on their production of new content. And it's a good thing because some of the new content that they had on Netflix wasn't very good.
But they're investing in infrastructure.
They are.
They have new studios in Spain developing and in Canada.
And I get their global approach. I really understand that. But I think at the end of the day, it's like, where's my kids watching their content? And it's not Netflix. They'll do it a little bit, maybe to watch The Office. But once The Office is gone, I don't see them ever going into Netflix.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what's going to happen. It's going to be a lot of fun because there's definitely bubbles out there. Yes. But I think there's going to be some major acquisitions first. And I think just like within YouTube, you can find your own niche. I think there's going to be other opportunities where you can find a niche platform you can just subscribe to and watch, kind of like a Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
Okay, last question, and this is a really important
I
one.
like that other one, though. I like talking about platforms.
It's got heated there for a little bit. I like that.
It's good.
Fun.
It's good. It's good. So last question, and this
Daryl always gets mad at me for disagreeing with him.
Oh my gosh.
After every podcast,
I don't even know what you're talking about.
He says like, hey, he's not hurt my feelings anymore.
Okay, I actually told him to disagree more with me. Gotcha. That's the way it works.
So we can trigger their algorithm.
Yeah, right. No, we just get heated.
Yeah, in case you guys didn't know, the more you disagree with someone, the more your videos get promoted.
So yeah,
there we go. Back to the fake news.
Yeah, that's what a normal YouTuber would tell you. Something weird.
This last one, if anyone made it to the end of this podcast or the video, this is where the gold is. I've been holding this question, but your creative process. This is interesting because you come up with some really creative ideas.
Yep.
And you're always pushing the envelope. What goes through your mind when you're thinking of a video? What's your process?
It's really hard. Could you ask a little more specific? Because I could ramble on for an hour.
Well, based on a conversation we had earlier today, it seems like that's a very complicated answer because
it is a complicated. When do you find the right idea, basically?
Yeah. So, gosh, that's so hard to answer because there's no it's not like, all right, when it meets these requirements. Well, actually, it kind of is. So now that I think about it, so basically, it's really, step one is it more ethical? All that stuff, obviously. But then after that, it's just, will people click on it? Can I make an entertaining 15-minute video that people will watch over 60% of? That's really it. And the more this is the thing, this is where because I counsel YouTubers, it gets hard because you have to develop the feel. And it takes years for most people to just get it to the point, over the last year, every video has gotten 10 million views. So I'm pretty accurate at this point, but at the beginning I wasn't. And it took years of just fine tuning what works. And so those are what I look for. And that's why it's hard when I teach new people, because things like this one guy, he was averaging 10,000 views a video. I won't say his channel name because I don't want to take credit because he really is blowing up now. But he was doing 10,000 views a video, 20,000 subscribers around there. And then I gave him just this one video idea that it was just a little too controversial for me. But I was like, yeah, he wants controversial ideas. So he did it. He filmed it. I was like, refilm it. He refilmed it 3 times. He was so mad. He was like, not super mad, but he was like, come on. And then I made him keep redoing the thumbnail. And that video got 10 million views on his channel, despite the fact that his average was 10. His whole channel only had a few million views.
Right.
And he 10x'd in subscribers, and it's just a good idea. And I just told him how to film it. And I've done that with multiple different people. Examples on examples. It's just a good idea. I give it to someone small, but they just have enough view velocity where the next day it'll get picked up in the algorithm. It'll get 10,000, 20,000, 50, 100, 500,000, million, and blow up. So it's just whatever. It's just a feeling that you just get over time. And I've worked with a lot of small people, and they just haven't refined it. Even after I tell people literally everything, they'll be like, all right, this is my next idea. And I'm like, why? That's not going to do well. How are you my apprentice? Why? I'm why wouldn't you do this? Why don't you do that? The thumbnail concept's not that great, things like that. So
now we've had a lot of conversation on this, and you'll have a list of all these ideas. And you're like, okay, which one's the banger?
Yeah,
which one's the banger?
So one of my steps before I upload, or before we even start filming, is I try to always run it by Daryl and 3 other people. So whenever I have Daryl, I'm like, okay, I have 20 ideas. Tell me what you think.
He's like, which one's the banger?
Yeah.
Guess the banger. So I'm like, out of 20.
Well, I mean, that's what you should
Don't
do.
you guys have like the like secret retreats where you guys like
we don't
brainstorm?
talk about stuff like
Yeah,
that.
like what was the first word you said? No, but you want to, no matter what a title you have, it can always be better. It literally can always be better. And that's why I want second and third and fourth opinions.
But what I love about this is he goes, I can't visualize the thumbnail. Like you're like, if I can't visualize the thumbnail, I'm not making the video. I'm not going to put all this effort and time into that.
Exactly.
Or you have an amazing thumbnail, and they're like, well, the title sucks. I can't.
With the amount of money I spend, if I have like 3 or 4 videos in a row do bad, like I'm out of money.
Yeah.
You know, especially because like we're considering spending over $200,000 on one of our coming up videos. Like I can't have that be a bust. You know, it has to be a good title. It has to be a good thumbnail. I have to be able to make the money back, or people don't get paid. You know.
So, but by instinct, you're like, okay, I can see this. This is what I would click on.
Yeah,
I know
exactly.
my community. They would actually engage with this. Have you ever been wrong?
Not in the last year. I mean, I've had ones that, you know, do worse than
Underperform.
others. Yeah, but for the most part, every video has done well. You know, 10 million's like my threshold. If a video gets under 10 million views, I'm like, okay, I'm a
Which,
failure.
like a year ago, you've been
Yeah.
like 10 million views.
Yeah, I know. So it's the last year. But I mean, sure. Like, I used to donate to Twitch streamers. I gave a lot of money, hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe even $1 million to Twitch streamers. I did that pretty consistently. Then I took a 7-month break, and I recently did one, and like it literally just hit 10 million views. So it underperformed. And I think I've just gained a lot more non-gamers.
Do you know what was
since then.
interesting though? Was I was preparing for my talk for Vid Summit, and I was trying to, you know, get some new results. So I watched like 5 of your videos completely all the way through, and you know, it takes a little while for it to cycle. It's about 5 hours is what I found it for it to really cycle and start to suggest where it's at.
Yeah.
And guess what? The first one that it recommended was you're donating to Twitch streams.
Yeah.
It's like 2 years ago. It's like,
Oh, really?
yeah,
That's
all
fun.
your older content was popping up for me.
Yeah,
So-
no, that's why I usually don't do seasonal content. It's a little hypocritical because I might give trick or treaters $10,000 this year, but usually I try to do videos that just can go viral forever, just constantly get views. Like it just clickable, watchable videos, no matter how long, you know.
Yep.
And that's where putting a lot of money and effort into videos really pays off, because the long tail obviously is way better. And so
Well, that's very interesting. So, I mean, you don't focus on the seasonal trends. You just think of, okay,
well, I don't focus on any trends. I just
Yeah.
try to make my own.
Just make your own
He's
trends.
like, I am my own trend.
Well, I mean, yeah, but no,
Are there a lot of creators out there trying to copy what you're doing? Have you seen anyone
Yeah,
trying to
that's
do
the
that?
funniest thing I've ever heard in my life.
So, anyways,
There are.
when
I was just thinking if you're going to name
No,
drop.
that's like literally a few channels that are exactly.
Is it a few or is it a few dozen?
Moving on.
so no, it's just the idea is you want to make every video the best video possible, so someone can just watch a video and then watch the next and the next and the next and the next, and like YouTube could just recommend any of the videos, and that's what we try to go for. Because like when I do get on trending and like a new audience is introduced, I'll see comments on like really old videos like, I saw you on trending 2 hours ago, and this is like the 12th video I've watched in a row. Like, how do you do all this crazy stuff? How is every video so crazy? Because like people who have never been exposed to me before, like they still think like $1,000 spent on a video is crazy, and then they watch a video where I spend $100,000, and then $100,000 and $100,000, and then I destroy my friend's car and buy. It's like all this stuff that like, so you could just go down my catalog and watch all of it. And I try to keep it all interesting. You
Without
know?
naming anyone, have you ever had like top like Hollywood celebrities hitting you up to try to be in your videos?
A few. I mean, I wish I could name people. I usually just say no, because usually it requires us to fly to LA and stuff, and it's just a lot because I have a big crew, and we have like a lot of our videos, like we're working over a month in advance. So just, it's
I
hard.
think the one that was really well done was the Cam Newton one, and
Yeah.
that, I mean, it was perfect.
but that
It was
hasn't
right
even
there.
been uploaded. Is the thing.
Oh crap! I didn't even know.
Yeah, well, he
I
uploaded,
said
he uploaded it on his channel, so you're not exposing anything. But ours,
Okay.
no. So we're
my NDA almost just died.
we've been stockpiling trick shots for a long time.
yeah.
So we got with Cam Newton. They wanted to upload theirs, whatever. We're still like world records, trick shots.
But
which
I mean, he's local, and it wasn't
Yeah.
that big of a deal. But yeah,
that was a good one. So we're trying to upload a video, just 15 minutes of us doing the craziest trick shots ever. But it's gonna take like a year, because just how hard they are. So
Oh wow!
Well, thank you so much for
no
joining
problem.
us.
So much for the
I could do this all day. This
I
is
mean,
literally
this
what
is-
I
Let's do it again.
Yeah.
We'll have to definitely do
Okay,
it.
let's just cut it and start another one right now. Right?
Yeah, let's do one just about platforms.
We
just
could actually
argue
do
the entire
that.
time.
We
Yeah.
could really argue a lot.
Yeah.
We could get in on that.
Yeah, I know. Once we moved away from talking about me and talked about like actual industry stuff, that's when it's like I have a lot of opinions on stuff like that.
We had kind of the blend.
No, I know. And like, it's just for me, like, people do care about me, but I always struggle to
talk about yourself.
Well, the reason why we're doing this is because there's not really a lot of content out there that goes behind the scenes and inside the brain of the creator.
Yeah.
And, so we have people like you, we have people that are Hollywood producers from all forms of entertainment. And really it's just so brands can really see, what it takes to do this type of business.
That you're just not in your mom's basement making videos.
We're not. We have lots of employees. We spend millions upon millions upon millions of dollars on our content. Yeah. And we pull more views than any TV show for the most part.
Well, no, absolutely. It would be fun. It'd be fun to have, Jimmy, Matt, Pat, and then like a Chris Moore.
Yes.
That would be interesting.
Chris Moore, he did Good Will Hunting, a lot of top hit like Hollywood shows. And just like, I think that'd be a great
Chris's
geek out
would go
you know what would be fun?
That'd be a great geek out on talking about data.
If you put Matt, Pat, Daryl, me here, and then you asked us hard hitting questions about the YouTube algorithm and let us all debate which do you think is more important, average view duration or average view percentage? And then we just all debated it.
That would be awesome.
That is such a small niche of people that would actually watch that. But
I feel like we're missing someone. So we'd have Matt, Pat. If we want to talk about the algorithm,
we should just have Todd ask us a question.
Yeah,
Todd from YouTube.
Todd's
he's like, hey, what do you think about this?
Or no, actually, it'd be funny if it was Matt, Pat, me, you, and Todd, and we were like, no, Todd, that's not how it works. Todd's
you have no idea.
Todd's like, I made it. No,
I made the algorithm,
and we're just like, well, we have 30 graphs right here that prove you wrong.
See, my company, where we're gaining a lot of traction and momentum and growth, is because we're building a bunch of algorithms to figure out how to predict the algorithm. Mm-hmm. So, because
you're gonna build algorithms, predict the algorithm.
Really,
to know the algorithm.
In order to predict guaranteed views, guaranteed clicks, guaranteed conversions, we're guaranteeing all those types of metrics, and it's because from a brand perspective, it's impossible to do it. You guys are much more integrated into the algorithm when it comes to creating content, but when it comes to promoting a brand inside the content, it's a totally different angle.
I have a question now.
Okay.
We're just expanding now. So are you saying
how long have we been going?
No. It has no relevance to that.
Yeah.
This is irrelevant right here.
Yeah.
A very important question. So you're telling me that you could upload a video to your native platform and have your algorithm tell you if it's going to be a banger or not?
Well, this is what we'd do. We'd look at all the history of that specific creator. And so,
what I'm saying though is having a history of a creator, because you can have duds. Duds happen all the time.
100%.
But if you can upload content and it says this content would be perfect with these outlets.
Well, so we don't upload the content. Basically, what we do is we have our over a decade of conversion data, as well as view data.
I know
a big variety, and then when we take that, we then have our AI look at that from 10 million different perspectives, or 10 different million ways, and then find correlations with all the content creators out there, like a Mr. Beast.
But what I'm saying though is you could literally have that look at the data of the video, and you can say these are the elements that will convert.
Absolutely.
These are the elements that won't convert.
Yes.
Let's build that.
Yeah.
So
I want that.
Hey, can I
my team is in a dark room right now playing with that, and just so you know, there's enough data out there for that to be possible. And so when you and I were in the car chatting, that's why I was geeking out. I was like, we got to get you in the room with all my data scientists.
Yes, please.
And have them basically recreate your brain.
Can I invest? Can I be a part of this?
So deep neural networks.
I'll have to talk to my boss. But anyways, no, we should definitely have another let's have another video or another podcast where we just talk about algorithms.
Oh, that'd be so much fun.
Yeah.
The YouTube and Google algorithms, but also algorithms that need to be created in order to better utilize.
If we just talk about the YouTube algorithm, I'm game. Any other algorithm, I know nothing. That's it. My whole life, I've just studied it.
You're getting better at Facebook.
Sure. Definitely don't have help. Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
Let's do this again soon. This will be a lot of fun.
Thank you all for watching this crazy podcast with Mr. Beast and with Ricky.
If you're a brand with lots of money, here's the email. Read at nightmedia.co. I promise 100x your current sales.
There we go.
Guaranteed.
And we're going to see you guys on the next video.